Yes. It gets easier.
Oh, yeah? Look at you.
When I was faced with the opportunity to make a documentary, I had no idea where to start. I love nature. I have a kitten. I like to cook and eat. I paint sometimes, but I am not a filmmaker. Ultimately, I am a writer, which inherently means that I am indecisive. So, when presented with the opportunity to make something meaningful, I had two options. 1. The horrors of the modern-day world. Pain is inspiring and even beautiful sometimes, and did I mention that the world is overflowing with it? Or I could focus on the one thing more inspiring than pain. The incredible oasis of live music. Originally, I knew exactly where this was going.
Would it be crazy to say that music changed my life?
I wanted to let the scene speak for itself, the music, the atmosphere, the crowds, but I was facing some doubts. How can I do this without sounding like a condescending asshole? But when I sat down and looked over years of concert and festival footage, I came to a realization. This wasn't about me or my experiences, really, as much as it's about them. The unexpected tribe of people I found myself with, the magnificent bond between all of us. This project had become a reminder of how beautiful and full life can feel, how beautiful and full my life can feel, all because of the joy, harmony, power, and sheer energy of human connection. While I originally planned on attempting to prove something with this film, I was quickly learning that it wasn't about proving anything, more so demonstrating it. Demonstrating the passion and community of mutual love, a binding and connection transcendent of the tangible. I was attempting to capture the ineffable, what it has done for me, what it could do for anyone, or what it could change on a larger scale. I was excited to see what the project and life had in store for me. What a joyous, exciting, and inspiring example to be able to work with. But life had something else in mind. Like most things in the 21st century, I found out via text. The first thing I felt was insufferable anger. No one ever called him Ethan, only Sab, even teachers. And while I am aware that this context may call for the more formal full name, it still angered me. Second, I was angered by the photo of Sab the press had elected to use. He wasn't smiling, but he was always smiling. In fact, I never wanted to see his smile more. The next thing I felt was pure distress and horror. How many times have I scrolled past missing people's posts on social media? How many people would scroll past this? Would that even change anything? I met Sab when I was 13, when he started dating my childhood best friend, Alyssa. Like most relationships at 13, it didn't last very long. There was never any bad blood, and they continued to be friends, date, whatever, up until we went to college, him the Navy. He was a reoccurring character throughout staples of my teen years, agreeing to go on drives on boring nights, getting sushi at the half-price place after school on Fridays, bringing beer to the homecoming party. He was the most respectful boy I had ever encountered in my young life, specifically towards women. As my mother always said, he was raised well. Looking back now, it's hard to imagine anything from then without his face. My mind could not comprehend the thought of his absence. I figured if I drove past the local Wawa, him and his friends would be sitting on their bikes outside, laughing or fist-fighting or talking. I figured, at least, he would come home. I was optimistic. Everyone was optimistic. The search for Sab lasted for 5 days. 5 days of worrying and hoping and thinking and questioning and praying. 5 days of ignoring the horrid possibilities, unavoidable possibilities, until the day the search technically ends.
New information just into our newsroom. Norfolk police say a missing 23-year-old Ethan Sabatini has been found dead.
One of my fatal flaws is my attempt to rationalize and intellectualize everything. In a way, doing this helps me avoid the full weight of some pains. But not this one. There are some things that simply cannot be made sense of, only felt. But I still felt as if I was searching. And so I did. I drove through the small town we always hated, the small town you got out of, the town that seems even more suffocating and dreary than before you left. The streets that heard our laughter, the streets that felt our tears and kept our secrets, the streets that look so much duller without the brightness of your smile in my rear view. I keep thinking when I look into it, you'll be there, smiling back at me like the years and years before all of this. The upholstered headrests remind me of the hole you've left in my chest. I drove for what felt like hours, maybe even days. I drove until I could not see through the blur of my tears. I know your smile exists somewhere between reality and imagination now, somewhere on the forefront of my mind, yet nowhere close enough to fully grasp. I couldn't bring myself to drive past your house. While I typically hate obituaries, the receipt of death, I did appreciate this one. My favorite memory of Sab is my last memory of Sab. It was right before a bunch of friends left for college, and we all decided to get half-price sushi one last time. It's hard to think about now that we had no idea that it truly would be the last time. Our one friend was upset, nostalgic on our passing teen years and the daunting future of unknowns. Never the one to dwell, Sab sucked up water with a straw and spit it in her face. She was pissed, but couldn't help but laugh. When she finally did break a smile, he said, "That's the spirit. We'll be back together soon enough. Sadness is a waste of time." The next time we would all be together would be his funeral. It took me a couple of weeks to understand that I was searching for something completely intangible. No matter what, I was still left like this, confused, shocked, terrified, lost. Unable to grasp how a constant character in the fundamental years of your life can just be gone. But that's what happens. Some things can never be found. Some things are gone forever. One of my literature professors once said, "It is a common misconception that happiness is what makes life worth living." This is true to a certain extent, but happiness does not beget life. Trauma perpetuates life. With each year that passes by me, I learn this more and more. I intended to make this film to capture some beauty of life, and it turned into my grief process. In a general sense, my life has been a string of bad thing after bad thing after bad thing. But each of these bad things has taught me so much about myself, more than any moment of happiness ever could, I think. Happiness is the byproduct of suffering. It's between these bad things in our lives where we feel the most love and passion and connection to those around us. Nothing of actual value is ever easy to obtain. We live this human existence plagued by bad things, and we find ways to survive. We feel things deeply, sometimes down to our bones. We find the things that set our soul on fire and search for the feeling for the rest of our lives. We meet the people who are designed for us, and we love them with our full hearts, knowing that one day they will be gone, everyone on their own separate, yet conjoined, life journeys. We spend our existence learning and growing and coping and letting go of and moving on from all of the bad things until the worst of the bad things happens to us and we die. Happiness is fleeting, pain can be powerful, loss is inevitable, but love is everywhere, and that is how we survive. I know that one day the gash that's been ripped into my chest will scab and scar over. You may never forget how certain scars once bled, but it is important to remember that you will bloom from where you bleed. One day, we are sitting in the sand, amazed by the millions of grains in a single handful. And then, we are nowhere, or maybe everywhere, all at once. One day, we will all be among billions of stars in the sky, where the grains of sand don't seem so endless as they once did when we sat within them. One day, we will all find our way home. Makes you feel kind of small, doesn't it?